I'm Mike with Ripple Systems, and I'm going to show you how to open up the RISER MTA to change out the batteries. You'll see that there are two end caps on the RISER MTA. One has all your connectors on it, down on this side, and one is blank. The blank side is the one that we're interested in, and it's the side that's going to give us access to the battery compartment. So I like to put it in a vise to open it, and then I like to angle it slightly downward so that if there's any trapped water on the side of the housing that I'm opening, it's going to come out of the housing instead of go further into the housing and damage some electronics. So we've included a 1/4-inch steel rod, and that is used for opening the end cap. So you want to insert it all the way through so that you can grip it on both sides. And then you want to give it a counterclockwise turn, and that'll start rotating off the end cap. Once you get past these O-rings, it'll loosen up, and now you can go by hand the rest of the way. So here's the battery housing. I would take my flathead screwdriver and get it started here. Pushing down on the battery housing because the batteries are spring-loaded. You can undo the rest by hand. Now this screw is captive, so it's not going to fall out of the end cap. So you don't want this to thread all the way through. So carefully opening to make sure they're not going to fall out. Now you'll be able to pull out all 10 of the 18650 batteries and put them aside. I'll go ahead and put them right on the charger. Now, something to note when you're reinstalling the batteries is the battery housing has some different colors going on for each channel. The colored channels, the ones that are orange, are indicating that the positive end of the battery should be facing outward. You'll also see a little plus and minus sign on the inside of each compartment to kind of help you out with that. We'll go ahead and reinsert the batteries. Again, on the orange ones, the positive end is going to be sticking out of the housing. Okay, I like to close it by hand, leaving some pressure on the end cap because, again, it's spring-loaded, and then you can twist this thumb screw in. Once you get that flush, I like to give it a little extra twist, just until it's snug, and you'll see that the lid and the body of the battery housing have met. Now we want to close it up. We want to put the end cap back on. Before we do that, we want to make sure that all of our O-ring surfaces are clean, that there's no dust on there or salt or anything like that. Anything that can affect the seal. So what we want to do is we take some isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free wipe. Put some alcohol in there. You just want to go around on the inside of the plastic housing and just make sure that this whole surface is free of lint. You get a flashlight in there and check it out. Make sure that you're not seeing any scratches or anything like that. Same thing for the O-rings on the end cap. You want to give those a little wipe. Now you really want to inspect these well. Just because you wiped it doesn't mean it's clean. So you want to make sure that there's no remaining debris of any kind on there. If you see some that has gotten in the channel, the O-ring channel itself, you may want to pull the O-rings out entirely. And the best way to do that is to kind of clean it with the alcohol so that they're not slippery from the O-ring lubricant, and then just give it a little pinch, and then you can pull that O-ring right off. Now, once that is off, again, we want to take some isopropyl alcohol on our lint-free wipe. I like to make this little square here, and with the corner of the square, I like to get right into that O-ring groove and just run it the whole way around. Make sure that there's no debris remaining. Again, you got to inspect it. That's the same thing for the O-ring. When I get a fresh wipe, you just want to clean the whole O-ring off. And it's a good time to inspect for any nicks or any pinching of the O-ring. If you see anything like that, any cuts, you want to replace the O-ring, and we can provide you with the dash number to replace the to get the proper O-ring. Once that's clean, you can take some O-ring lubricant. Just go around the whole O-ring, just give it a nice little light coat. I have NovaGuard Versalube G624, which I like to use. We also like to use Molykote 111 compound. And once we're happy with how clean this is, you can pop it right back on the end cap. It'll be helpful to put this down on a surface. There we go. Okay. Now, even if we didn't take out the O-ring to clean it, what we want to do is, again, clean around the outside of the O-ring, inspect it for any lint. Once we're happy, you want to take some O-ring lubricant and just go ahead and wipe it on the surface of the O-ring the whole way around. That's going to help us install the end cap. So once the O-rings are all cleaned and lubricated again, you can go ahead and install the end cap into the housing. Now, to do this, if you're having trouble getting the threads to engage, if you go counterclockwise until you heard that little click there, I'm going to go again. Right there. Then you start going clockwise, and that'll thread right on. You use the 1/4-inch steel rod to help. And you just want to close this up until it's snug. We don't have to torque it down or anything. And now it's ready to go. You can clean up the outside, and this thing is ready to deploy again. If you have any questions for this process, just let us know, and we'll be there to assist you.